Has Harley Davidson's brand new CEO won over many of the dealerships, let's say in the United States? Well, according to a report here, he's addressed some issues that many dealerships might have been facing over the last few years, especially with their lack of enthusiasm for Jochen Zeit's leadership over the last few years as well. He's had some kind of meeting with some of the dealership heads. He's addressed a few issues, and basically, I'm reading between the lines here. There's a report here saying that many of them were very impressed with what he said. They said he was very genuine. He seemed very knowledgeable about general business and marketing, and that they liked what he had to say. But the problem here is, he might be saying all the right stuff, and I made a video about this as well. He might be saying all the right stuff, and he might be coming in with good ideas, and he might be sounding off. But, are we really about to see big changes in Harley Davidson? And many people would hope, of course, that he's going to be able to turn this around. And it's going to be able to take Harley Davidson into a new generation, or attract a new generation of rider. And let's say the existing riders can, just benefit from an improving company, from an improving product. But also the next generation rider can latch onto Harley Davidson. That'll help to continue going forward. But big changes are required, and this is what it basically says in this report here, or this article, I should say. Article, not report. So it's a good start from Artie Starrs in the way this is the new CEO of Harley Davidson, the way he's talked to some dealerships, the way he's put out the messaging so far. He's talked a little about a lot of the financing requirements of bikes and how that's going to, continue on. So some of the policies from Jochen Zeitz are still going to continue on. Remember, Jochen Zeitz is still there, like a bit of an overlap period for now as well. But there's also a big change. I remember talking about this a while ago, a couple of years ago, when dealerships were being forced to pay out of their own money for a big facelift for the way the dealerships looked, and a lot of them were kind of very resistant to that and resentful of that, saying, why are we having to pay all this money out just because a company wants a change of branding, let's say, or they're forcing all this extra expense on us, but it's not actually translating into helping us earning money or making sales. So apparently there was no real mention of this. So it could be that that he's almost addressing that already and bridging the gap in terms of motor company and dealerships, because that relationship has got to be a strong relationship. It's got to be a working relationship. It's got to be a united front, because otherwise, if there's dealerships pulling one direction or going out of business or closing down, as we've seen, and the motor company going in another direction, then that kind of leaves a bit of a void out there in terms of, well, who do you trust? Who do you believe? So there should be a united front, and possibly in some areas it hasn't quite been, whereas in other areas it has been. So if you're a really successful dealership, of course, and you're a huge dealership, then obviously, everything's been working great for you. But if you've been one of those smaller dealerships and you've had to close down in recent years, then obviously, it's not all fun and roses for you. It's actually been a real struggle for you. And perhaps a lot of the policies that you've had to deal with haven't been great, coupled with interest rates and poor economy and people not wanting to spend so much on premium items. Then all of a sudden, you've got a bit of a problem. What it goes on to say here, and this is pretty much what I've been saying for a long time, and again, this is not necessarily aimed at Harley Davidson because they're selling expensive motorcycles. You can still sell those. Nobody's saying you can't, but it's the number of cheaper motorcycles, the number of different types of motorcycles. That's what this article is asking for, and this is what I've been saying for a long time as well. Have your big expensive signature machines. That's not a problem, but you need to bring out something else. Now the question is whether the new CEO is going to take Harley Davidson in this general direction again. It seems as if, just from the outside looking in, that he's trying to build some bridges or mend some fences between the motor company and the dealership first. I think this is what I'm inferring from this article and what has been said in terms of the meeting that he's had with dealerships so far, is that he's trying to build some bridges. He's trying to make it a better relationship. He's trying to improve it and look to the future and going forward. And of course, in terms of marketing, in terms of sales, in terms of how to attract new customers to the brand or existing customers back to the brand, or actually, crucially, those customers that have walked away and then potentially might come back as well. So, you know, it's interesting. I think this is interesting times for the company. You know, you would hope that they can build on from this and say, okay, look, we've got to change in the head here. It's an opportunity. I always say change is an opportunity to improve. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will follow. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it will always be for the good, but it's an opportunity to improve. It's an opportunity to right the wrongs that haven't really been addressed in the last few years. Now, many of the naysayers would say, well, there's so many wrongs with Harley Davidson in particular, it's never going to fix itself. There are others, and I kind of would feel that way as well, to say, well, there are some real positives of Harley Davidson, but also there are some big negatives as well, and they need to address those, and they need to pull it all together. And I think this is a good step from the new CEO, if indeed this is exactly what's happened, in that repair that relationship with the dealerships or make it a better relationship. Improve the way dealerships can be set up, the way franchises can be set up, improve the way that you can let smaller dealerships open up or smaller repair centers open up. This is all over the world, not just in the United States, but improve that. Work on that customer facing aspect of the company. Yes, you've got to bring product. Yes, you've got to bring new motorcycles, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that we want you as a company to bring, right? New exciting products, products that appeal to lots of different wallet sizes, right? So that's the kind of thing I personally would like Harley Davidson to do. But in terms of fixing what the people see at the dealership and saying, okay, well, yeah, I'm going into a dealership, yeah, and things are changing, and we can see that there is a difference here. There's a difference in attitude. There's a difference in, you know, what kind of bikes are being sold and the price point and the attitude of what we're seeing in the dealership, but also the attitude of what we're seeing from the motor company as well. It's going to be a very interesting autumn and early new year for Harley Davidson in terms of how they come across now, but I think the first stepping stone was to bridge that gap, mend some fences with some of the dealerships, and make it a much better working relationship. Time will only tell whether we'll see, you know, right across the board, whether this will bear any fruit, but I think it's a good start if the rumours are to be believed. If you like what I do here, keep on watching, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.